Okay, so America never really got rid of slavery. In the 1600s, after the South lost the war, when the slaves and stuff returned home from fighting, or the ones that were still on the plantation, the farmers told them, well, y'all are free, but y'all got to get off my land and get out of the houses I provide. And whenever the slaves were like, well, what are we going to do? The farmer was like, well, I'll tell you what, since slavery's illegal, I'll hire you back to work on the land that you guys used to work for as slaves. And the slaves were like, hell yeah, bet, a job and everything. And once they got the job, the slave owners then said, well, cool, now that you guys aren't slaves and I have to pay y'all, I can't afford it, so I'm going to have to charge you rent. I'm going to have to charge you rent on the tools. I'm going to have to charge you for the food I give you till the planting's done. I got to charge you for everything. Now, after all the tally was added up, they owed out more than twice what they were making. So essentially, they would have to work all day for free to live in their houses and eat food. This is literally the system the American government has adopted for all of its citizens at this point. You work all day, 8 hours, but you basically work 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. That gives you 1 day to rest, eat, sleep, and to create more slaves for the system. There's literally a movie that talks about this where it's like, eat, sleep, and the good slave owners let you breed to make American gods. Kofu Anansi gives this speech to the slaves on the bottom of the ship before he uses them as a sacrifice. But basically, that's the American system today for every color. White, black, brown, it doesn't matter. If you can't make millions of dollars, you're stuck in this slave system where basically, but yeah, that's the system America uses today. Basically, keep them in so much debt that all they can afford to do is eat, sleep, and create more people to be destroyed in this machine. So you trade your mental health, physical health, and everything that makes you human. You trade what little time you have for money. Money that is slowly decreasing in value while they increase the cost to live. This is modern day slave system without calling it that. If you don't pay somebody a livable wage enough to actually survive on, it's slavery. Like the American system is exactly that. They want to keep us so much in debt and so disconnected and so unhappy that all we do is work, sleep, create more people to force to work, and then at around 70, 75, 65, somewhere in there, because they just raised the retirement age, they want you to retire and then live maybe 4 or 5 years with agonizing pain from where your body and mind have broken in this system. So even after you retire, the time you're supposed to have to relax, spend time with your family, this, that, it doesn't matter because the system's already broke your will, your mind, and your spirit. So now you're just a husk waiting to die. You trade everything for this money that they take back from you instantly. Like you work for it and then they tax you for having a job. They tax you for working your job. They tax you for the job paying you, and then when with a little bit of money you do have gross income left, when you go, they want rent, lights, water, food, all that takes the money straight back. And the only way to avoid this is to make so much money you can avoid the taxes. To make so much money you don't have to worry about it. But to make that much money, you have to destroy other people. You have to sink so far down in wickedness that you can never be cleansed of it. Like, it's disgusting, especially in America, because once you hit a certain pay ceiling, a lot of weird stuff starts happening, like the Illuminati stuff, blah, 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 entertainers, whatever. But once you make enough money, then people, whether you're a scientist or billionaire, whatever, people want to get blackmail and start doing stuff like that to use it against you, so you vote to keep this evil system going. And it's only allowed to keep going because humans, Americans, go with it. Laws and systems like that only exist because we, the people, allow them to. If we simply just threw down the shackle and said, no more, we are done, were not going to be used like this. Like if everybody just quit going to work, the government wouldn't fail, the country wouldn't stop existing. The companies would have to change their actions or die. Same thing with the government. Like our government is pimping us out basically. We are slaves, and it's our right and legal obligation as American citizens to fight tyranny, even if it's our own government. And that's exactly what this is looking like. Literally, if you read the Bill of Rights and all that, the Constitution, a lot of the stuff that they say they fell out with King George about is happening today again. Like, it's disgusting. America's straight crumbling. Like, we spent the last 50 years getting rid of every law that stops monopolies and all of the things like that. And after them 50 years, we have massive monopolies. Look at Sony and Microsoft and all that. They're the only two real game developers because they bought up every other studio just about in the West. And now the government is having to sue them type of companies like Samsung, so they will lower the price of RAM to create electronics. They're artificially creating a scarcity, driving the price of RAM and stuff up. And because they're doing that, causing the RAM prices to go up, they're charging more for their products because they're claiming it costs more to develop them. But they control the cost of development because they're upping their own price. And by doing that, they're saying it costs us more to create it, so we got to charge you more to buy it. And then they pocket it. And not only that, but Sony's getting rid of all physical media. No more disc. So now they're not going to have to pay the cost to manufacture the disc, and that savings is not getting pushed onto the customer. It's just going into pocket. Like, if you're not paying money to create disc and whatnot anymore, why is it still $100 a game if it's just digital information we can download now?
Dad, it's Kylo Ren.
Anyway, just what it comes down to is we're in a modern slave system, and the only way to break it is if Americans stop participating in it. But people ain't going to stop participating in it because they believe the only way to escape the trap is to go deeper into the trap, which makes no sense, but that's America. If I had the money, I would pack up my kids, we'd move to somewhere in Europe, somewhere like Sweden, Scandinavia, something like that. But for now, in America, we're all slaves. We're slaves that are divided by false race issues that the government creates. But anyway, if you want to hear more of these thoughts and ideas, like, subscribe, share, and if you disagree or something like that, please comment. I really created this channel to have conversations with intelligent people and non-intelligent people. Just have conversations, honestly. Thanks for the time.